Hello, my name's Enrique Guzman. About 20 years ago, I talked my wife into having an abortion because I thought it would be the best thing for us, for our future. And I believed a lot of the lies out there about abortion, that it was just a blob of tissue and it wasn't even life. I used those lies to manipulate my wife and tell her that we just couldn't afford to have another baby. I drove her to the clinic and I waited in the waiting room, and after a little while, she had come out, and I could tell that she went through a lot. She was traumatized, and I just saw it in her face. She began to cry as I sat with her in the car for a few minutes just to try to figure out what we had just done. About 9 years ago, I knew that I needed a savior and I wanted to be washed of my sins. So in 2010 of November, I accepted Christ into my heart, and it was an overnight transformation. Just completely changed my life, and uh, talked to my wife, and I had invited her to church 2 weeks later, and 2 weeks later she had accepted the Lord into her heart, and we began to go through a healing process. And I had apologized to her for everything that I put her through. Deep down inside, we just buried the abortion, and we never talked about it really. I brought it up, I apologized for it, and she forgave me, and we just went about our lives and living for the Lord and serving the Lord and being involved in ministry and just walking in the Spirit. But for some reason, the enemy just kept holding that abortion over our heads, and we just couldn't even talk about it. The shame and guilt was overbearing. My wife would sometimes cry for no reason, and I would not even be able to console her because I knew that what she was crying over, and I knew that the pain that she was going through, and I had caused a lot of that pain. In 2016, through a series of events, my wife ended up getting in contact with Karen from Deeper Still Fallbrook, and we had met her for lunch, and that was my first time ever talking to anybody about my abortion. She asked questions, and I did share with her my feelings, and that was the beginning of my healing process. Through that meeting with Karen, we scheduled ourselves for a Deeper Still retreat in Fallbrook in fall of 2016, and it was just really God sent. The Lord used Deeper Still Fallbrook to just facilitate a deeper healing. I was able to talk to other men that were there serving and helping, and I was able to share my testimony with them and share the guilt and shame that I was carrying for so long. And I felt like the Lord was just peeling off just layers of shame and guilt that I've been carrying for so long. And I was able to talk to my wife without the enemy whispering in my ear, telling me that I'm the one that caused this and I'm no good to her and I'm not able to help her. We talked during the retreat, we wept together, we mourned the loss of our baby. The Lord had showed me that it was a baby girl, and we memorialized her later on during that retreat. And just being able to put a name to our baby and talk about her and know that one day we'll be in heaven with her, rejoicing. and just loving her. Now that the Lord met me on that hill that day, the fall of 2016, and it really just did a work in me. And now I'm inspired to be a voice for the unborn.